Welcome to Chaleigh TV, the channel dedicated to indie artists and entertainment. Tonight we'll be discussing the movie that was so bad it damaged reputations, it destroyed careers, and got an NC-17 rating, not to mention get the chick from Saved by the Bell to get completely nude. It was way too hot for Hollywood audience, but not for the cult audience. It was so bad it was good. I give you. This movie has been deemed the worst film of all time. Maybe so, but it was still pretty hot. This film made all kinds of mistakes. To the marketing of it, the genre of it, the acting choices, and last but certainly not least, the story is unsure where they want to take this character. The director, Paul Verhoeven, told the actors to overact and exaggerate their actions on purpose. So the actions and the emotions didn't always match what was going on in the scene. The performances are so campy. This made the film unintentionally comical, even if that wasn't what they were going for. The dialogue is quotably ridiculous. It is some of the most white trashiest lines in all of cinema.
Do you like brown rice and vegetables?
Yeah,
You do?
sort of.
Really?
It's worse than dog food. It is.
I've had dog food.
You have?
Long time ago. Doggy chow. Oh, I used to love doggy chow.
I used to love doggy chow too.
The dialogue, tone, and acting, it's a sexy mess, to say the least. What's even worse is that these actors are actually trying to take their roles seriously and give you serious performances. Like they're in Citizen Kane or something. But the dialogue of every single character in this is so freaking ridiculous that you can't ever take the over-the-top performances seriously. You know?
Saw the show. You were good.
Thank you, Al.
Real good. You take care, kid. Must be weird not having anybody come on you.
Like, if you go to acting school, they will show you this film of what not to do. The film seems to be having an identity crisis also, and is very schizophrenic. Now remember, they're not trying to be satirical. That's not what he was originally going for. They're actually trying to make a serious drama film about this world, this environment. But between the script, the acting, the directing, it would have made a hell of a lot more sense if they just owned its campiness, you know. Unfortunately, they didn't do that. They also made the story with a lot of unnecessary characters and scenes. Would have just focused on the going after your dreams journey that Nomi is actually embarking on. It could have been an entirely different film, and it didn't need to be so unnecessarily all over the place, and the characters could have had clear objectives in a satirical film. Hollywood doesn't take comedy seriously, so they don't take comedic acting seriously. So this film would have been allowed to be ridiculous. like she wouldn't, you know, anyway. Unfortunately, the film was bad enough to have Elizabeth Berkley never work in that town again. Hollywood hung her by their hypocritical cross. And it doesn't surprise me that the mainstream audience couldn't take this film.
I thought it was smart. You were doing like a TV show,
Right.
all right? And nobody really thought of you for movies or knew of you and stuff.
They didn't think of you as an adult even.
By being in Showgirls, whether it was a good movie or a bad movie, everybody was talking about you.
That's true. You know, and for all the criticism at the time, like here we are a year later, and they still talk about it.
Yeah, and you
So
probably
Right,
thought...
they hated it so much.
And what did they say? Showgirls and Elizabeth Berkley.
Right.
You have
Now-
total name recognition.
And I thought at the time, I said, man, it was a Paul Verhoeven movie, who's
Right.
like a real well-known
He did
director.
Basic Instinct.
And RoboCop, right? Didn't he do RoboCop?
RoboCop, Total Recall. I mean, so to not have
Lots of
taken
good
that type of
movies.
opportunity.
You
was-
got to be nuts.
Yeah.
I find it remarkable that he didn't get blamed for the movie. You did. I find that remarkable.
Well, considering I didn't write it or direct it or produce it.
But you see, like there were some good actors in that movie, but anyone who's in a bad movie, you think they can't act.
And unfortunately, it's not like, let's say I had 10 other movies that you could compare and say, oh, she's that and that,
Right.
and that. So
It was your
suddenly
first
people
movie.
thought, oh, she's that character.
But the bottom line is, everybody knows the name Elizabeth Berkley now.
Sometimes you wonder, with all that talent going for it, and that
Yeah.
kind of reputation on the director and everything,
Right.
did it look that it was going to be that bad
Well,
in
this
the
was the-
midst of filming?
Yeah, while you were
This
shooting
was
it, did you think it was
this
good?
was the weirdest thing. There
Yeah.
was no indication
Yeah.
until literally the day before.
Really?
Really?
I'm telling you, I went to the Cannes Film Festival.
But what do you think? What about like when dailies, people going, hey, this
No,
is great?
they were so inspired and loving it. I mean, the actual process of making the film
Was
was
fun?
amazing. And I mean, there was this whole kind of thing that was developing as far as the heat on the movie.
Right.
And there was just no indication until I think it was the day before it was released.
Yes.
And then the reviews came out, and I went, yeah, that's the best way I can describe what I went.
Hollywood has a love-hate relationship of anything to do with sex and, for whatever reason, nudity. They have to at least pretend that they care about, the moral outcry of some. But at the end of the day, the real reason was because it didn't make any freaking money. I think that if this film didn't take itself too seriously and just embraced and owned itself as a campy, satirical, dark comedy gem, it could have been accepted as a racy, rags to riches film.
Hey, Pollyanna.
What did you call me?
I said you look like Pollyanna. Okay, ladies. I'm Tony Moss. I produce this show. Some of you probably heard that I'm a prick. I am a prick. I got one interest here, and that's the show. I don't care whether you live or die. I want to see you dance, and I want to see you smile. I can't use you if you can't smile. I can't use you if you can't show. I can't use you if you can't sell.
This is an interesting film that wanted very badly to be a mainstream drama. It wanted to be a mainstream drama, but would have been better off being an independent satire. It was just too much for Hollywood. Can't wait to hear your thoughts and opinions on this very controversial cult classic.